maintenance and inspection is really important to ensure your dam stays safe and functional and to prevent any issues becoming worse over time. Today we'll be talking through some of the common issues that you might find when you do your dam inspection and some of the solutions to those. We'll be joined by Martin, who will show us around his dam and tell us about some of the ways he's gone about doing those maintenance activities. So what do you need to look for when you do your dam inspection? Firstly, you need to check your spillway, which is the channel or overflow area that diverts excess water away from the dam and back to its natural course of flow, instead of letting the dam overtop. You want to look at your dam wall or embankment to make sure that's in good condition, and you also want to check the storage area, base and the rim of your dam. It's also important to look at the upstream and downstream areas to note any changes or issues that might happen there. So for cracking, you can generally repair small cracks just by backfilling those cracks with layers of clay and allowing the natural revegetation to establish. If you notice erosion in or around your dam, there are some simple measures you can take, including planting native sedges and grasses to help stabilise the banks. You can also put in riprap or small gravel or rocks, or weed matting as well. If your freeboard isn't big enough, it's important to consider lowering your spillway and making it a little bit deeper. And that is a structural change to your dam, so it does require a water affecting activity permit. So animal burrows are another issue that you can fix relatively simply. Again, just cover them in with clay and allow the natural revegetation to establish. If you do have trees on your dam wall, it's important to seek specific advice to your situation, because trees can be an issue, but they can also provide benefits too. Trees can help prevent evaporation from dams by up to 25% and provide shelter, but they can also drop leaves into the dam, and their roots can cause tunnelling and erosion in the dam wall. What do you love about having a dam on your property?
It looks fantastic. Love sitting out here with a cold beer, looking at the dam. But equally, I run a organic vineyard here, and lack of chemicals, not spraying, bringing in natural predators is really important to me. So what I found with this dam is the biodiversity that's brought in. So the ducks, for instance, they do what they need to do here, and then they walk out into the vineyard and eat the slugs and snails, which is fantastic. And the amount of microbats as well that I've noticed since the dam's been cleaned out has been fantastic, and they're great for the vines. So they go in and eat some pests like light brown apple moth and things like that. So back in 2019, I purchased this property and the dam needed a lot of work. Hadn't been looked after for many years. Then the bushfire came along and caused a whole lot of silting issues because of obviously the lack of vegetation on the surface. Brought a lot of silt and just rubbish down from the catchment, and that filled up the dam. So as part of that, we cleaned it out, got a local earth mover. It was really knowledgeable and really helpful. He came along, dug a lot of that out, and actually brought it back to the way that it was supposed to be, I guess.
I can see here that the spillway's had some work on it.
Thanks to your department, and you were able to give you some advice on how to build the proper spillway. So previous to this, the water just sort of rushed over the top of the bank, caused a lot of silting issues and things like that. Mm-hmm. So we lined that with some special geotextile fabric, and then used some local rock to create the spillway.
So the distance between the high water level and the top of the dam was quite low before, is that correct?
It was really low, yes, and that actually caused a lot of erosion issues. Because that was so low, the water actually went over the top of the embankment and actually caused some cracking and some splitting, and I guess that's one of the reasons that we did look to fix the dam up, because that was about to probably break the dam wall and cause some issues downstream.
Yeah, so really important to do that work to stop the dam from overtopping.
Very much so, yeah. So we had about 2 to 3 cracked willows in this dam wall that actually formed their root system into the dam, and that was quite evident when we brought the earth mover in to actually remove some of that silt. The roots were quite far out.
There was some erosion around the bank here, is that correct?
Yeah, that's right. So because of the fact that there was no freeboard, the water went over the dam wall, caused a heap of erosion in and around this area. So when the earth mover came in, they actually put a really nice camber on the side of the dam, which actually helped mitigate some of that erosion.
Yeah, so you can see that camber now. It's probably a lot less steep than it was.
Very much so, yeah. And also that dam wall that's been cambered off the other side to allow that sort of overflow if it does happen, which hopefully it doesn't.
Yeah.
But it has been designed with that in mind.
Have there been stock on the property, do you know, and what impact did they have?
Yeah, there was. The previous owner ran about 20 to 30 head of cattle, and those cattle had free range around the dam. What I noticed when I first came here was that they really fouled up the water, and also the weight, I guess, of their hooves and those sort of things actually caused a lot of compaction and erosion in and around the dam wall. And if in the future I do put stock in, the first thing I'll be doing is putting a fence around here and making sure that they're kept out.
And have you noticed any sort of signs of seepage, so water seeping through the dam at any point?
Yeah, so previous to the repair work, there was a bit of seepage, especially down in that corner over there.
Sure, and so how did you go about fixing that up?
So that was fixed as part of the dam wall, so getting this really good earth mover in, he was able to actually compact the dam wall properly, bring in some clay and use some clay also that we had on site, bring that in to actually compact the dam wall and actually construct the dam properly.
And so obviously the dam is part of a larger catchment, as most dams are. Have you noticed any sort of impacts of the work you've done on your dam positively around the rest of the landscape?
Yeah, I mean, after I had this dam cleaned out, our neighbours, it really prompted our neighbours to look at their waterway as well and what they could do.
Fantastic.
And as you can see down the creek there, they've done a really good job of cleaning up their creek line. Similar to this dam here as well, there was a lot of cracked willows, so they've been really proactive and cleaned that up, and it's sort of helped the whole ecosystem in this little area in the Noidorf Valley.
So what you do upstream definitely has an impact on downstream.
Very much so.
Remember, if you have a dam on your property, it is your responsibility to make sure you maintain it so that it stays safe and to prevent any damages to people, property and the environment. Some activities do require a water affecting activity permit, and if you're not sure, it's best to speak to your local landscape board. We're here to help. We've got lots of useful guides on our website, and you can also speak to your local stewardship officer for advice and guidance.